What is going on, everyone? That's a big what. And my name is Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the bottom of the map in the blue color, playing as none other than Uranus, also affectionately named Horanos. If you guys are unaware, a lot of players did used to believe, and maybe still believe, that Uranus is a little bit of a cheat god, and Shelty is playing as said cheat god in this game. His partners today making up one of the most scary teams you will ever see in your entire life. In the sky blue color, playing as Ra, his name is Joe. And finally, rounding out this team in the purple color, playing as Hades, his name is Skadi. Together, they make the deities of death. How epic can you make a name? I mean, they really put some effort into that one. Deities of Death, if you guys do not know and have not been following Age of Mythology for the past 20 years, one of the oldest standing clans still around today, and have won many a RTSL, Real-Time Strategy League, one of the longest running tournaments of RTS kind. Very, very exciting facts there. Their opponents today, though, are in the green color, playing as Hades. His name is Nullus. He's naming himself Abysme here. I'm not sure why. Maybe he feels like a name change, but his name is Nullus, and we're going to affectionately know him as Nullus. He's playing as Hades. He's in the green color. He's partner today. A player we haven't seen yet play in this clan league thus far. His name is Dobber, and he is here to dob you in for your terrible plays. He is one of the top 10 players for sure on the ladder. Definitely always in the top 10. Have seen him even as high as top 1. Is an Egyptian player, very strong player to boot. His name's Dobber. He's playing as Ra. He's in the yellow color. And finally, rounding out this team, quite comfortably playing as Uranus here. Yes, for sure. We do have a AOT bystander here. That name suits quite aptly here as Dobber, not to be confused as playing as Zodiac, because normally Dobber does play against Zodiac. That's a very fan favorite matchup of Dobber. Anyways, finally, we do round the team up here. We have Miracle playing as Uranus. We will be waiting for a miracle in this game, because we can see that Miracle here, he is terrified as his building placement is like, I don't want to be villager rush this game at all. No villager rushes, please and thank you, with a temple and a manor and some cows surrounding this. We've got the map Alfheim, and this is game 1 of this best of 5 with the scoreboard it just magically appeared out of nowhere. The scoreboard appearing at the top of the screen, showing you the players that are in here, the teams that are coming. We do see Prometheus coming in for Miracle, nice and fast. A very, very quick Prometheus here, going for a 4-minute, as we see Shelty on the other hand throws up that late economic guild with the temple coming up, and he's going to be making his way in this game, trying to figure out what's good, what's bad, and what is for dinner tonight, because it's going to be a fun one. Alfheim. We do have a very irregular team here from Team DoD. I love the Hades Ra pick. That makes a lot of sense, but then you go in with the Uranus here, and I start scratching my head just a little bit. Just a tinsy bit of scratching my head. The reason is Hades and Ra are very, very defensively orientated gods, whereas Uranus is very much more in that, yes, Uranus is a top tier god, but Uranus fits in more with your Lokis, your Zeus with Centaur and things like that, your Poseidon with Hippocon, maybe even Odin and Thor with like raiding cavalry or Ulsark, depending on what you want to go. That's what Odin is, or Uranus is, excuse me. But I would feel like maybe Gaia here makes a lot more sense, going with that defensive mantra, the Sentinels helping out and all that other good stuff. We do see a very, very cheeky Oracle Valor here, as this citizen getting caught out. Beautiful play by Miracle, as this other citizen coming in trying to distract just a little bit here, causing a little bit of path blockage, as this citizen is making a break for it. Going to try and get into this tower, and will indeed make it there nice and safe. The Oracle heroes have found their value at the start of this game, as we do see the Sentinels getting dropped here by Skadi, as this citizen retreats back into the main base. Shelty a little bit scarred here from that early game, but he has not lost anything too badly. All the citizen are retreating back home as Miracle searching around for something to take out. This citizen over here is very much a threat, but I doubt Miracle knows that that's there, and we'll see how things are going to eventuate as this game continues. Military barracks, counter barracks coming down, Athena coming in a little bit delayed because of the map here from Scardy, and for Joe over here getting out his villages and all the other stuff. We see the Wadget coming out for Joe as well, going to be throwing up his houses. I imagine he's immediately going to grab a second town center. Super standard Joe shenanigans coming forward here, as this is the map he was dealt and this is the build he's decided to go with. If we come and check out over here, we see Scardy scouting out the Hades here of Nullas. It's a Hades mirror here, as the Minotaur moving forward, going to be looking for something in the villages on this location here, moving off of their Aurochs in favor of getting this town center up. There is another Auroch over here that they may want to come over there and eat, and it looks to me that there's Aurochs on this location as well, which might go both the wayside of Scardy, as we see Nullus on this position getting this town center. Meanwhile, we do see the Oracles coming in onto this manor here. Just imagine if the manor here was actually deconstructed, and then that citizen would have 100% died, but instead we see the Shelty units coming over here in a send Miracle packing, pick off all of these Oracle heroes. Maybe going to lose a Promethean offspring or two. Definitely not the most efficient of plays here from Shelty, but he's going to deal with this and he's going to be fine moving on from now. Meanwhile, we do see, I love this from Joe. He's gotten out that Pegasus from the Relic and he is scouting around, trying to figure out what's going on in this map. We see Dobber, he's already thrown down these farms on this location. Now, if you're me, in this situation, I'm in a Ra versus Ra kind of thing in this kind of situation, this kind of map, this kind of situation. I'm probably thinking, can I grab 3 town centers here? And I think the answer is actually yes. You do have chicken here. You've got the elk over here. I would 100% go for a 3rd town center in this situation. But both Ra players here are going to be going for the fast farm off of 2 town centers, trying to get involved in the game just that little bit earlier. And we'll see if it's going to be a problem or not. Let's check out the economic upgrades while things are going on. We've got the pickaxe, plow, shadoof, husbandry. I imagine exactly the same has come through for our main man Dobber here. Basically exactly the same. Does he have pickaxe as well? Yeah, he's got pickaxe, husbandry, and plow. No problems there. Missing out on one upgrade, but that doesn't matter. As Shelty going to be moving in now. He's going to be looking for some raids. There's a very, very safe manor on this position, though. This cow over here is right for the taking. Can you escape with that cow or not? That's the question. We do see the Terma on this position. Look at this town center coming out from Miracle right now, as his Terma are going to be desperately trying to hold on to this position as the Promethean going to be moving forward. The Wadget retreating back on this position as the Murmillo heroes are moving in. Will Shelty be able to take this victory on this fight here, as the Murmillo are going to be doing a ton of damage onto those Terma, but the Terma here fighting back valiantly as that Wadget here retreating from the Murmillo, turning around immediately. They're going to get a little bit of damage done onto the Murmillo as it's going to be retreating back. Meanwhile, Scardy and Nullus, simply put here, are just going to be hanging out in this game. We see some farms coming down. Honestly, if you're playing in this matchup and you're playing as a team in a really, really good way, if I was the Ra here, I would be like, look, I'm going to rain. Let me send a villager over here. Get some gold, send me the gold, and I'll build farms for you. And then you can be on farms during the rain. It's much, much cheaper for that to happen. But we don't see that a lot in the team games for some reason. Especially, I would assume we would see that more in these kind of team games, especially over onto the Atlantean player as well, because he could go onto farms first, then jump onto the cows, have even more food to gather from the cows, because you start gathering from the cows later and having a much better time. But yeah, we don't see it very often, just because players are either lazy or they don't realize it's a good option. As this Wadget sitting here playing a nice defensive position here for Miracle, as he's happily mining gold outside of his main base. I love that play there for Miracle, easily and happily able to take these fights here with the Mass Terma and the Prometheans at this point. Actually, because of the double rain here, Shelty hasn't managed to get himself off of Valor at this point, so those Promethean are getting a little bit more value out of them, as we're seeing Scardy now starting to drop some walls here and everything else. We see the Hathors coming through for both Dobber and for Joe, but Joe's just a little bit in front of Dobber at this point, as we see a big shockwave getting dropped down onto Miracle's army here, as Shelty is trying to fight this one. The villagers retreating away. Shelty has a big advantage now over Miracle, as Miracle has to retreat back home. He's lost a little bit, but he is getting some picks here now and then, as those Terma are the most drunk Terma you've ever seen. Somehow, some way, dodging that one there, as we do see a huge Locust getting dropped down onto this position. They do manage to get into a different position there. We see the shifting sands actually getting dropped there to try and keep those villages alive. Only, well, 3 villages falling, 4 villages falling on that position there, as the Migdol Stronghold wants to get up over here, as Shelty has to pull back into a different position. A nice Locust there from Joe. Joe's actually already grabbing himself his 3rd town center, and now DoD is going to make their very strong stand on this town center, trying to grab this one here, as Dobbin needs to get himself organized after that Locust. Nice play there. Good utilization of the Aranos. 3 town centers for Joe. For Skadi here. Not Miracle. Nullus, on the other hand here, he does not have his 3rd town center yet. So he very well must be going for some sort of timing attack here, either with an early Mythic Age or something like that. This is going to be a tough one here for DoD to hold, especially Shelty if he gets targeted down, as we do see Joe now pushing in onto this position. We see the villagers moving forward, dropping double siege works really close to this town center. I love that play going forward here for Joe. He's going to have such an advantage over Dobber moving forward, as Dobber's going to be retreating, losing villages left, right, and center here, as Shelty's just retreating, looking around for stuff to kill. We see the market's up for Dobber. It's going to start the trade route. The market over here started for Joe. He'll start his own trade route coming up to Shelty's town center over here. I love that, as we do see Miracle with the turnaround over here, as Shelty 100% wants to grab this town center. He wants to go up to 3 town centers moving forward, but that's going to be a difficult one there with those Terma being there, as those Citizen walking straight into their effective deaths right now, as we've got 5 Citizen over here, but no units. There's a town center actually coming up for Shelty now. Shelty wants to grab 4 town centers for himself moving forward here. I wonder if this is the play for DoD, as we see a ridiculously fast 3 town center Horus coming through for Joe, but Dobber is like 20 seconds, 30 seconds in front of Joe moving forward. So we'll see how that tornado is going to be used by Dobber, and how the tornado is going to be used by Joe moving forward here, as these units still moving around. We see the Patsukos here going to get taken out there by the Valor on those units. Going to take that out very easily moving forward here, as look, we could see a tornado getting dropped immediately onto Miracle, immediately onto Shelty. Miracle does have 2 town centers for himself, but at this point, this town center getting denied, as the units over here kind of getting distracted, as this Terma going to come through and start harassing these villages. The villagers turning around, trying to shank down just a little bit, as this town center does get denied. A little bit unfortunate there for Shelty, but he does have to pull back. The units here for Joe just sitting very idly by, as DoD is happily taking this game into what looks to be a kind of 1v1, 3 1v1s in a big way, as Nullus retreats back ever so slightly. He does not want to lose this Manticore, as we do see the tornado very obviously getting dropped onto the town center, and there we go. Skadi shows the business here. The restoration getting dropped onto this town center, as the town center, is it going to get killed still? It still gets killed, even through restoration. Justice at last for the Egyptian players. Sometimes that restoration completely works there, and sometimes it does not, as we see the tornado getting dropped onto this position, taking down a ton of units, as Nullus, there's the restoration. Look, that's what it's supposed to do, as both players utilizing their restoration, both Greek players using their restorations here to just counter out the tornadoes, or removing a Mythic Age God Power with a Classical Age God Power. Beautiful play here from both JSS and DoD, as the elephants starting to move through for Joe. I love the elephants being mixed in here, as Joe's pushing for the Avenger here with the Pharaoh here. Ptolemy sitting in, as we see a big Locust onto this position, as the Prometheus coming in, going to be taking out these Citizen. The Locust not going to kill anything, but these Prometheans are going to be so strong at finishing off these Citizens, as Shelty is a little bit distracted here in this game, as his unit's getting pushed back in a very dire situation. That's what Shelty's in right now. But look at this situation here from Skadi. He's all over the map, putting walls up everywhere, controlling his position very nicely. We see Nullus going through Artemis here with a very large lead over Skadi in terms of tech. Skadi hasn't even clicked up to the Mythic Age yet, as we see the 3rd town center also grabbed by Nullus. So Skadi's going to have a couple more villages than Nullus moving forward, but this is where the action is, as as Joe is pushing hard in onto double. Look at the difference in score here. This is a Ra versus Ra, as Joe is just showing exactly how it's supposed to happen, as Skadi says, let me get in on this action. I want to join up with Joe. He's big, he's strong. He's shown everyone how Ra is supposed to be played in team games, as this Migdol stronghold slowly getting taken down. The units over here from Miracle trying to get a little bit of snipes over here, as both the Rhinos players are getting slightly hurt as this game is continuing here. Very, very nicely, as we see the Underworld coming through now by Nullus. He sees a weakened Shelty and he says, it's time to take him out. He gets his town center back up and the town center goes down. This is exactly what happens to a Dorados player in these situations here, as Shelty is being the victim of some very brutal plays here, as we see the shifting stands from Joe coming in to deny this push, as the Chariot Archers drop in, the Mercenary Cavalry coming through for Joe, the Siege Towers in to take down the Underworld Passage. This Chimera here getting taken down by the Avenger as well. Beautiful play here from Joe, as the Town Center gets saved at this point. Shelty going to get his Town Center back in the main, as we see that the Toxotes are searching around. They want to pick off a citizen. Just jump into the manor, my friend. You do not need to lose citizen here. He's trying to make a break for it. But the Town Center is saved. DoD falls slightly behind, though, as Shelty is in a lot of pain. There is still an Underworld, though, for Skadi remaining. And this is what's going to be scary, because Joe's got 4 town centers going forward. Shelty's on 1. Miracle's on 2. So it's equal town centers at this point, kind of. It looks like Miracle's a little bit behind, but he's getting his 3rd. But here's the thing. If Shelty or Joe, for that matter, can grab this town center, start the trade route, and just have an incredible economy. If Joe grabs it, if Shelty can afford it, no problems. But if Joe has to grab it, just get that bigger economy and just start tributing Shelty back into the game, could be completely fine here, as we see the siege works coming in. Helios now on the way for Miracle, as he's ready to start doing some very, very sneaky shenanigans. Meanwhile, on this side, we see both players are very much walled off. We see the Heliopoli starting to come in for Nullus. This is exactly what you need to do in the Greek matchup. I honestly feel that Toxotes are a complete waste of resources in this matchup. You're better off just building another fortress instead of getting those Toxotes and building more Heliopolis, because you just don't need them. The Heliopoli are better in every single way than a bunch of Toxotes, and that's just the honest truth there, and that's just how it works. As we're now starting to see Double coming over, trying to react to this raid of Skadi. Going to be able to deal with all these units, but that will allow Joe now to start going straight after Miracle. And here's the thing. If Miracle hits Helios, the answer to Helios is to attack the Helios player with everything you can to deny any possibilities of Vortex being used efficiently. If you get Vortex, yeah, you lose a town center, but they lose their entire base. That's the way to deal with Helios, and we're seeing Joe kind of going for this early, as Dobber is kind of nowhere to be seen. It's got a handful of units over here, but this is just a mighty army that Joe has assembled, and Joe's going to continue getting further and further ahead. As we see the champion Chariot Archers coming through. He's got tons of units here. He's going to be tributing Shelty back into the game, I'm sure, going forward, as there's the Helios, there's the Hecagigantes coming forward here. And honestly, in this situation, just maybe Hecate might have been a little bit better, especially with the Avenger being here, the War Elephants, and everything else being here. But look at this. Joe's able to spam these mercenary cavalry from his town center straight into his opponent, as we are starting to see Dobber setting up the walls, trying to attack this town center over here. Meanwhile, Underworld getting cast by Skadi, as Miracle is now getting tripled to some degree. Shelty is a little bit dead here, as you can see him about 1,000 score behind Miracle, but this is the double that is needed to happen. Nullus is nowhere to be seen. However, Nullus has got Siege, so this might not be the best of Underworld you'll ever see here from Skadi. The Siege is absolutely key moving forward when your opponent leaves. These Toxotes are going to help out a lot to try and keep the infantry and cavalry off of the Siege, and these buildings are going to go down really, really fast. But the problem is that even with Miracle here, he will be able to get himself this fortified town center out, but Miracle's buildings die so much faster than Skadi's do, and Skadi's going to be able to pop back through this Underworld at any point to defend against this kind of push. But here's the thing, Nullus is doing so well in this game. He is so big. It is kind of all up to Nullus to push and for Dobber to get into a position that he can hold against this 4 town center versus 2 town center shenanigans here. Maybe grabbing this town center for Dobber might have been a little bit better for Team JSS, but it didn't go that way as Miracle's town center does fall. DoD is making this push be really, really strong here moving forward, as we do see a something cheeky getting cast down here. I'm not sure exactly, maybe that was a shockwave or something, but town center here for Scardy is indeed going to fall, as Nullus is just he's a lot further in front than Scardy is currently, as we see Chariot Archers coming through for Joe. They're not going to help out in the slightest. You need infantry units, but look at this triple coming through here for Shelty, helping out as well. Thank you for the prime there, Psycho Leechy. Appreciate your support, my friend. As the Heliopoli will fall, Nullus will have to retreat back, but will there be a way to deal with these elephants that are flowing into this base of JSS? JSS needs to grab this town center back. We are now starting to see some fanatics coming out here for Miracle. That's going to be a big help here, as we do see Miracle trying to take out this Underworld passage with that Hecagiganti coming through. That's going to be a very quick dead Underworld passage. This is one of the strongest siege units in the game, as that Underworld passage is going down so absurdly fast here. There's no way to kill this Hecagiganti off at this point. As the Underworld passage goes down, potentially this town center is going to go back the wayside of JSS moving forward here. As the Heliopoli does fall, we do see Champion Artist is through for Nullus, as he's trying to hold on to this position here. This town center still hasn't been grabbed, as the Stymphalian Bird trying to control it, but as the Stymphalian Bird leaves, we see the Citizen making their way up to grab that one, and there is a hero term here to deal with that. Nice play by Shelty, playing this situation very nice, trying to grab this Hesperid's tree with Shelty, with Joe having this Hesperid's tree. That's absolutely huge, because he's Egyptian, and Egyptian's probably got excess gold up the wazoo, so getting these Hesperid's trees is going to be huge, as we see the Vortex, the first Vortex coming in onto this position. What units though does Miracle have here to take this out? He's got 2 Hecagigantes only and mass Toxoides. If Shelty can take down this Hecagigante here, this town center might simply just survive, but these two Hecagigantes eventually will be able to finish this town center off, as it goes down so absurdly quickly here as the town center gets taken down. Joe and Scardy have got everything. They essentially, it's all up to them to hold here. Oh, I love this wall. I love this Petropolis, and that town center is in for it here, as Nullus needs to regroup his Heliopoli and push through this location to stop this kind of push. Look at the Gastrophetes coming out to boot, as this fortified town center, it doesn't have any upgrades, but it is Nose of the Sphinx and Hadesified. That is a real English term there, ladies and gentlemen. Hadesified is a thing. And this town center is going to be able to be kept alive for a little bit longer than otherwise, as many units popping in here that can take out the town center. It looks like Nullus may be losing this one, as Scardy is finding his way back into this game beautifully, as it looks like a little bit of a choke hold here, a little bit of a lull in the fight in the middle, as it doesn't look like Joe can quite push that easily, but Dobber coming over here. Dobber should be grabbing this town center for himself moving forward here. Miracle doesn't need this. He's got plenty as he takes this town center out as well. Still this low HP Hecagiganti doing everything it needs to. Flood control coming through for Scardy as well, as he does take the town center down, but it's going to be a ways away from pushing in and grabbing the town center for himself. Though, to be honest, 1 Gastrophetes here is enough to deny this town center from ever going back up. That's the value of Gastrophetes in a big way, as the Gastrophetes try and take down the Heliopolis as well. We see the Perseus over here trying to get involved, and Gastrophetes are actually pretty good at dealing with the Heliopolis, because they deal 6 crush damage. So that's going to be a dead Heliopolis, as those Toxoides getting some good damage done over on this position. Meanwhile, we see another Vortex onto this position here, as well as the Fire Siphon come in to destroy Shelty here. Shelty drops down to 0 town centers. Shelty is nowhere to be seen on the map. Oh, you see some blue over here, but Shelty's like, Joe, can you just take my town centers and tribute me a little bit? That'll be fine. No worries. Honestly, like if you're playing in this position as Shelty, just give all the town centers to your Egyptian player. Say to the Egyptian player, can you just be my economy to get another 20 camel caravans and just tribute me resources, and I'll just make units and be fine. That's got to be the only way forward here, as we do see an attempt here to deny this town center from going up. So the Chariot Archers come through. We see siege works coming up for Dobber. The Dobber villagers do have themselves Skin of the Rhino, so a little bit tough to take them out as Joe does move over here, grabs the Hesperus tree for himself. He wants to produce some Dryads here as the catapult rolling forward to deny this town center. The town center getting very, very close to finishing, but one catapult ball here will be enough to deny this town center for quite some time as Dobber sends a mercenary cavalry over here to pick this one off. Meanwhile, this push here, we see some towers up for Skadi. He's in a fantastic position here. There is no real way for Nullus to grab this town center, but also there's no real way for Skadi to grab this town center for quite some time. He needs to really wait and get his tech through as we see Joe grabbing his 5th town center in this game as Miracle coming back over here to grab this one. We see Skadi advancing there through what looked to be Secrets of the Tides, but he's cancelled it there. I kind of love that play in a way there from Skadi. He fakes the Titan Gate just for a little bit. He's faked it again, it seems. I'm not sure what he's going for, but we'll see how things are going as the settlement here does get denied. This town center here is going to go down as well as the fire siphon comes through. It looks like Joe's not able to defend this one for the time being here as more units coming through here for Joe. We take a quick look at Joe's perspective here. Joe's at 170 of 200 population. He needs to go up to more of those what do you call it? Camel caravans, really, if he wants to maintain this, as we see Shelty coming through here to try and defend this situation over here. Miracle grabbing himself a 3rd town center, going forward a 4th town center over here. I think the JSS mistake here is not giving this town center over to Dobber, and Dobber just would be able to continue building these camel caravans going forward, as we do see the champion chariots coming in to take out the camel caravans. Here we see some cheeky walls getting set up here for Joe as he's trying to get some pressure onto this location, but does get denied there by Miracle. Nice play as the units over here are getting cleaned up. Nullus slowly but surely getting taken out in this game. As the champion chariots pushing through here, going to take out everything on this position slowly as well. Meanwhile, I mean, I'm not seeing JSS really finding their groove just yet. While they are slightly ahead in this game in terms of score, it seems to me that while Shelty is kind of struggling here, he's still very much alive in this game with Citizen. He doesn't have town centers, but that doesn't matter. He can get fed here to just spam towers, spam units, get upgrades. He's going to be fine here. He just grabs a town center at some point to get to Mythic Age. No problem. Just needs 1 town center. Doesn't need any more than 1 going forward here to be somewhat useful. Joe, on the other hand, needs to get himself these town centers up as he's trying to grab this one here. As the Pharaoh sitting back here, needs to get onto this one. Ptolemy the 4th. A little bit sad about how many times he's had to be resurrected in this game. But we see these villagers getting pushed back here as the palace gets denied on this position. Miracle will be out of vortexes going forward here, as it seems to me that Joe is a little bit in a little bit stuck in this position. He's not going to be able to win this one 1v2, even with his excessive economy coming forward. We do see that Nullus is slowly making a push forward over here, really closing the gap on these situations here, but pushing a Hades is so absurdly hard. Not only do you have to deal with the buildings of the Hades, which are really, really strong, but also you have to deal with the Gastrofidi, which can deny buildings fast, the Petropolis, and the Heliopolis. Now, Hades is one of the best defensive gods in the game for that reason. So effectively, the best way for Skadi to play is actually to be pushing multiple different angles here against Nullus, but it's really, really hard in these team games with everything walled off and things being very tough to make that happen. Meanwhile, Town Center up here coming through for Shelty. He does have his watchtowers through now, as the army here for Shelty going to be searching around here to join the battle. But look at this here from Miracle. Miracle has learned from GM's game there. GM's game? I feel like I might be wrong with that. There was a Chronos player who went through Helios. I think it was GM's. Maybe I'm wrong. I feel like I'm wrong. Anyways, the Fire Siphon mass here in the Mythic Age from a Helios Atlantean is so absurdly strong. Look at the upgrades here. This upgrade gives plus 13.8 crush damage per second. Absolutely insane. We see Joe now clicking up through Secrets of the Sirens. We'll see if that's going to be any help here, as JSS is slowly but surely making their way back into this game on this side, grabbing this town center over here. We see some villagers making their way over here. They're going to be starting to put some pressure onto the main base of Shelty. Shelty has grabbed this town center here. We see the Migdol stronghold coming up over here as well for Joe. He's going to be getting that one fairly soon coming forward here, as we see the spearmen. The Horus Spearmen here are such correct options in this location. When you have greatest to the 50, it effectively makes the Mercenary Cavalry useless because they get so much bonus damage here from greatest of the 50. We don't see the same here for Joe just yet, but Dobber's got all of his upgrades where that's concerned. So those Mercenary Cavalry are not going to be the best over here moving forward. As we do see now, Dobber coming in here, going to be attempting to put some assistance for Nullus, as Nullus is slowly but surely getting pushed back. It is the slowest grind here on the 80s minute to get the dub here, but it will eventually happen if Nullus doesn't receive a little bit of support moving forward here. We'll see how that's going to eventuate. Meanwhile, we see some towers coming up for Joe as he's trying to put some pressure onto this position without investing too much population over here. As the barracks are up, we will start seeing some spearmen coming in, as Joe's a little bit like, I need some help. He needs to get himself guard towers. He is getting it, and ballast towers as well to boot would be a big help, as we see some siege works getting dropped down as well. Meanwhile, Titan Gate getting thrown down for Joe. Can he afford to get the Titan up and hold this position is a big question that is being posed moving forward in this game. As we see the Migdol stronghold coming up for Dobber, he's trying to hold this town center moving forward. We'll see if he's going to be able to do it or not, as some towers coming up here for Joe to control this town center, prevent it from getting grabbed. Very smart to do that, but he needs to put pressure over here and grab this town center as well, because at this point, what is the town center differential moving forward? It's 4 town centers to 4-2-2. So we've got 8 town centers to 8 town centers. The town center differential here is exactly the same. However, the players with the economy in these situations for JSS has less population to play with, which is not good. So what Nullus needs to do here, in a way, is be tributing Miracle to make sure Miracle is going to be spending his population nicely. If we take a look at his population count here, is at 160 of 180 with lots of gold in the bank. So he just needs a little bit of help here to get going. As we see the Titan Gates getting thrown down. Here's one for Scardy. Here's one for Joe, as it's 31% of the way through. Dobber's grabbing his own Titan Gate with tons of villagers on this one at this point. I wonder if Nullus can afford to do the same moving forward and hold this location. That's the big question, as Scardy continuing to put pressure on over here. We see the Heliopolis dealing with these guard towers over and over again, as this is incredibly tough for Scardy to push through. I feel like Scardy needs to make less Castrophides and Toxotes and more infantry and Heliopoli here to push forward. If you set a Heliopoli here, it forces your opponent to micro those Toxotes, and then your infantry can clean everything else up moving forward. It's a really, really nice way to go here. As wait, did we see a heroic age yet from Shelty? No, Shelty's still in the classical age. He's lost his town center. He's in a tough position. He's trying his best, all right, guys. Just remember, Shelty's one of the best players currently playing the game at the moment, and you too would be having a tough time if you had Tornado, Earthquake, and 3 Vortexes sent your way. Alrighty, so more spearmen coming in onto this position, as Dobber is slowly but surely getting this town center up, and this town center will be turning the tide in this game. However, with Nullus not getting a Titan here, this will be enough for Scardy to make a push through here, or push through on this location if he so chooses. He could help Joe out as well, as Joe's Titan will trade. As we see, look at this, Dobber coming through with a wall, gets his catapult out. We see the catapult coming through for Joe as well, as this town center is going to start getting taken out. Remember, this is a fortified town center with masons, but it's an Atlantean town center, so it's going to go down quite fast. Apparently there was an Underworld and a Locust, but like, you got to deal with that. You picked the Uranus. That's your fault. You pick someone like Isis, and then you're never going to get god powers thrown your way. See, you could have thought about this. Obviously, Isis best god. As the catapult still pushing in onto this position. We see the Titan coming through now for Joe. Screams, says, get out of my way. I'm here to crush your dreams, your desires, your hopes. As we see Thea coming through now. Finally, for Shelty, does he not realize the meta is to get to the heroic age at about the 10-minute mark, 12-minute mark at the very latest with Uranus. But anyways, Fire Siphon now coming in to clean up the guard towers as the walls coming through to try and support his catapults and everything else. The Titan is now out for Dobber here as well. Moving forward, we'll see how he's gonna use that. Obviously, moving it straight forward to deal with the enemy Titan is the way to go. But with Scardy getting his Titan out and no Titan coming forward for Nullus here, I feel like Nullus is in a tough position moving into this game. I'm not sure how he's going to deal with this. Yes, he is Greek. Greek is the best at dealing with a Titan, but normally you're at 160 population to start with, and you can get yourself out a couple of Heliopoli plus the heroes and just chase the Titan around. You're going to be completely fine to deal with that one. As the Titan moving forward, we see walls coming, or not wall, well, kind of walls. Granaries getting thrown down here by Dobber to delay this Titan ever so slightly as we see some Hero Arcus coming into this location. The Pharaoh here dealing with that Titan as we see Joe retreating back here. The wall's up though for Joe, but it doesn't matter because this Fire Siphon shoots over walls, funnily enough. It's a ranged siege unit, one of the best counter catapult units in the game, to be honest. With Bellerophon probably being the only one that's better than it, as more towers coming up, and Joe's going to have to rethink what he's going to do there, but he doesn't really have the population here, as the Titan has fallen down nearly 500 HP, so it's going to be a 500 HP advantage for Dobber's Titan moving forward, as Joe going to be trying to pick up as much as he possibly can here. Meanwhile, Titan now moving forward for Scardy, as he's going to be finding himself, at the very least, finding himself this town center. But the question is, can Joe support this 1v2 for this period of time or no? Because Shelty here, I mean, he's finally in the next stage, but his units are just so weak moving forward. He needs to get his upgrades out, be requesting resources here as we see the Pharaoh helping out. Look at the villagers coming in onto this position, trying to snipe down that Pharaoh. We do see Joe seeing that, retreating away, keeping his Pharaoh alive for the time being, trying to help out as best as he can as all of the ballista towers are up. Dobber is in his element now moving forward. This is where Dobber loves to be. 3 town centers apiece. Shock the towers up, get the lame started. As the Titans here, we've got ourselves 1700 HP to 1700 HP, so it's going to be a fairly equal trade moving forward. But Dobber does get security of the 3 towns. It's first 3 towns advantage here, and Joe has to figure out a way forward here in this game, as we do see the catapults coming in here. We've got Dobber coming forward to try and snipe down the stone walls, as they're also going to be helping defend the catapults somewhat here as well. Meanwhile, the Titan comes in for Scardy, is going to be taking down this town center, gets very, look at the HP this Titan loses during taking a town center down. No other civilization can do this. Going down 2,000 HP for 1 town center here is absolutely unheard of, and that's exactly what makes Greek so good in these situations. But this means that Scardy will be 4 town centers to 2 town centers moving forward. However, Dobber here, he's got himself a catapult, and he's denying this town center from going up for quite some time. He's finally typical managing to come through. The villagers have to pull off the town center for the time being, but they will return over here moving forward, as these walls still not doing all too much, as we do see the catapult still trying to break through this location, as Miracle's Town Center does look like it is just about to fall here. 100 HP remaining with the 2 villagers repairing it, as it does end up falling. Nice play here from Joe with the help of Shelty's infantry units to take down the fire servant, protecting the catapults at all cost, as Joe's going to clean this up and trying to figure out a way back over here. He's holding this position, but Dobber will slowly push through. These units here for Joe are not long for this world underneath. This amass of ballista towers. You need siege weapons here to deal with this moving forward, as Scardy is slowly pushing through. We see the Chimera coming through as well for Nullus, but that's not going to be all too much of a help, as this Titan here is dealing with some houses on this position. Look at the Titan almost taken out. We've got so many Heliopoli here dealing with this. The houses getting thrown back up, as Scardy is happily just denying 1 town center while this is all going up, so he can set up on this position to deal with the remainder of Nullis's base here. The villagers moving forward onto this position, maybe going to try and throw some towers down over here, secure this town center for himself, get 5 town centers to 1 town center advantage here as Nullus is in such a difficult position coming forward. The villagers moving over here. Maybe Dobber feels like he can grab these for himself, but the Titan gets a lot of damage done onto those 1,000 HP remaining. The Helioply all fall down, but there are still these heroes remaining as some fortress coming up over onto this position. Joe slowly starting to push through on this position. He's taking down the town center, he's taking down the palace, he's taking down the towers, and this is very, very tough here for Miracle. He's trying to push through. Shelty's position here is the Fire Siphon wander in onto this position, and look at that from Scardy. Scardy says, it's 36 minutes into the game, guys. I've got infinite resources. What the hell is happening? Let me throw up a wonder. Can you guys afford the wonder is the question that Scardy is posing. Now, you can start a wonder roughly 30 seconds later as Egyptian and get it up before the Hades wonder, just simply with empowerment. Even if the Hades has got himself the speedy building upgrade through Aphrodite, which obviously Scardy doesn't have, as the units taking this down as best as they possibly can. Now we see Joe pushing in onto this position, going to grab this town center for himself. The palace getting taken down, as well as the Titan deals with this town center over here. Scardy's got himself 5 town centers now, pushing in now onto Dobber's town center, and we see the Titan coming through now for Miracle. Can DoD deal with this is the question. The Titan has almost been picked off here. 1,000 HP remaining, but guess what? This Titan could easily clean this town center up, stay alive, and also wander over to this Titan here and deal with it. Look at the clear path it's got. I feel like it's going to get there without losing its life. Maybe it doesn't pick off the town center completely, but it is possible here. We'll see what Scardy's options are in this location as the Migdol Stronghold does get taken down, and maybe we're seeing Scardy continue to throw more buildings up onto this position over here. I imagine Scardy's hurting a little bit for resources, as Joe's going to be going up to 5 town centers moving forward here. This location here is still under a lot of pressure now, though, as the catapults are starting to get into the position that they can hold here. Nullus is coming forward with his own gas graffiti to try and deal with this, as well as the catapult trying to take down the fortified town center. Hero Citizen almost getting taken down, as Shelty needs to figure that one out. The villagers coming in to finally start repairing this one, as the spearmen need to get onto that catapult there. They do a lot of damage, but looks like Joe is maybe going to be losing this town center, maybe even before he gets this one up. There's the 5 town centers, so Joe might be able to get himself through here, but Joe's going to lose this town center moving forward. Over here, we still haven't seen this one get taken out. Where's the Titan out? The Titan's now moving in to Dobber's base, going to be losing this town center here very, very shortly here, as Scardy cleans up more of Dobber's houses. I love the play here from Scardy to focus down houses with these Titans. It's exactly what you need to do. As this wonder here, how many villages are on this, though, is the big question, because that's a lot of population actually being wasted here by Scardy. Yes, the wonder costs like 3,000 resources, but with the amount of time it takes to build it, you're losing that many resources in gather time here. It's roughly 24 resources a second now that Scardy is losing moving forward here, as the Titan, I think a bit of a misclick there from Scardy. He's going to clean up the main town center over here, as Joe's town center on this location needs to get thrown back up. We still haven't seen, well, Joe's now starting to move in and take out this town center, as we see Shelty defending the catapult with his live fear. He's got the medium Milo, still hasn't got to the mythic age here. I'm sure that Joe could be tributing more resources. Same to Scardy. Imagine tributing Shelty 3,000 resources instead of getting himself the wonder. You would have seen mythic age, you would have seen Helios, you would have seen a much more efficient use of resources here given to the Uranus at this point. But DoD boys are greedy moving forward here in this game, as the catapults still controlling this location. The Titan is still alive, 872 HP remaining, as we haven't seen this Titan attempting to get onto this Titan gate, but he will be cleaning up the fortified town center going forward here, as we see this town center getting taken down here. And we'll see where Scardy can go next. There's the 99% of the way through by Miracle. He's got himself a Titan. We've got the Wonder up now for Scardy. Scardy does actually end up losing this town center as Nullus gets his own town center back over here as Scardy needs to focus up just a little bit and sort of use his Titan a little bit more efficiently here. As the Titan going to be cleaning up some more houses, and we see Dobber saying, all right, it's game over here. A little bit too far behind. DoD somehow wins this one. They were so far behind. Shelty got absolutely brutalized here. 41 minutes into the game, 0 town centers remaining. Checking out the post game here. This is going to be a story. Look at the resources tributed here by Miracle, actually. Must have been tributing to Dobber if I have to guess, because Nullus had a ridiculous economy going forward. 5,000 resources attributed by Joe. Scardy hoarding his entire economy, saying, you know what, Shelty, I don't care. You don't get anything here. 0 resources from Scardy, the hoarder. Even Shelty tributed resources in this game. Wow. Just wow. Settlement differential will tell the story, though, because there was a point at which JSS had the lead at 9 town centers, but they immediately dropped down to 7 town centers going forward, and that just allowed DoD to win. And I think the answer here for JSS would have just been for Nullus to just accept that he's going to lose this town center and say, look, Scardy's getting himself a Titan. I'll get myself a Titan, and I'll just I'll just try and hold here 2 town centers to 4. Trade Titan for Titan and just hold on this town center instead. Maybe have Dobber help out a little bit, and things might have gone a different way here in this game. If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.